So you got Jordan pulled up. So, yeah.
Using a hotline?
I'm using.
And then
So I'm trying to hear this stuff. You know, so you have to connect to your mom.
I mean, it was supposed to there's a new phone, it's supposed to transfer it over, so I haven't checked it.
Oh, you just have to sign in. Are you signing and stuff?
Facebook. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Simple. Hello, how you guys doing again today? This is another installment of Black Lives Matter History Impact. Today, I just want to share a little bit of information with you. What I have on today is called a shoka. This is from Kenya, the country of Kenya, but the Maasai warrior, this is their traditional dress. And before colonization, they actually wore sheep, cowhide, things of that. But after colonization in the early 1900s, they started using cotton with the invasion of Europeans coming into their country. But significantly about this, several different colors are worn by, the men, the women. Before the colonization, they actually made these garments and they dyed them with insects and plants and a lot of different natural things to develop the different coloring. Blue is really highlighted, dealing with women. There's a social status that's surrounded by the clothing. So this again is called a shoka. And again, we're going to be sharing information with our community, information that you may not be aware of. And we're trying to work to empower our community to think outside the box so we can be better informed citizens of the universe and of this world. Our topic today is going to be on voting, the suppression of voting, and what's going on across the country. In 2013, the Supreme Court struck down Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And this is what we're dealing with today. You know, this country was founded and was taken by people that was already here. And even when in 1776, when they so-called established the Constitution, we were not included. And then you think about the merits of this country that talks about, you know, the rules. So you're supposed to vote. This past election, people came out the woodwork to vote. And what's going on across the country in 43 states right now, they have introduced 306 bills to suppress or deny people the right to vote. And again, we must be aware of this information because it's critical as far as how money is distributed county by county. Why is that important? So if we look at the national level, as far as what happens when you have congressmen and senators dealing with proportion money that is distributed from the federal to the states, it is very profound how you are represented. And so with the gerrymandering and with the attack on voting suppression, the Republicans are not playing. They got a full court press going on to deny people the right to vote, because when you have the power to vote, you can put in your legislation. And this is what a lot of times Democrats or liberal or however you want to think about what party you in, if you are saying that I want equal access, where I want to be treated fairly in this country, just take schools for instance. There are black schools that does not get near amount of resources than white schools. That has been going on from day one. And the unequal access to opportunities is across the board. In every aspect of our living, we are governed, and we have to abide by laws, policies, and procedures. And when we are not at the table, when these things are implemented and are passed, then we are subjected to being excluded from opportunities. And all throughout this country called America, all black people have wanted is the opportunity to have a fair shot. And what's going on right now, they are cheating. This legislation that's taking place in 43 states, they are cheating. And again, our community should be more engaged as opposed to rioting. We should be out there dealing with legislation. As far as educating ourselves on the power of legislation and then standing for those legislations that's going to help all of us, and then start boycotting, using our dollars to boycott systems, businesses, in restaurants, I don't care what it is. We have to start saying that we're not going to spend our money with these institutions that are not supporting us. And again, when you think about elections and why this is so important, let's look at locally. We have in Flint, Michigan, the county has more power than Flint City Council does, or the mayor. And what's going on downtown with the mayor and the city councils is ridiculous. All that too is a ploy, because it's like three-card Molly. I can keep y'all fighting over stupid stuff where the county, all their needs are being met. I echo this over and over. They have spent almost $1.5 billion downtown Flint, and not a dime almost East Flint, North Flint, South or West Flint. When you think about the north side or any other area in Flint proper, we continue to be devastated on top of the water crisis that was done intentionally. And so why am I sharing this information with our community? The power is still in the rules, even though they are cheating. If someone is cheating, then we must work together to stop them from cheating. And to be able to stop them from cheating, you have to be an informed populace, meaning our community, starting with the churches, the schools, our family members, we must start educating and talking amongst ourselves so we can empower ourselves, group up together where we can be a dominant force that's working to change our community. The Democrats are working on a bill. It's called For the People Act. This bill is designed to combat what's going on the federal level with all these states trying to suppress the vote. And again, real power does not respect only power. And again, what we continue to do right now, we are fighting over resources, resources, resources. And again, to our community, and as we continue to do this historical impact, we just want to work to empower our community to start stepping up, stop being depressed, stop feeling that you don't have no voice, stop feeling hopeless. We come from people that was the first people on the planet and they did not give up. I'm asking our community to get involved. If you have any more questions, please contact me, Hubert Roberts, 810-394-4105, and my email is mentorroberts@gmail.com. On behalf of Black Lives Matter History Impact, we thank you and we look forward to hearing from our community.
Nothing, baby. Go after the ball, fellas. Let's go nuts.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. Man, we just getting it in right now. Tapping in. It's a joy to be here. Brother Roberts, how you feel, man?
I'm excited. I'm excited as always, you know, as far as a new journey, a new stepping stone, a new embracement, you know, grateful, happy, and just thrilled.
So all that info.
All that info.
So give us a rundown, man, because I know we've been in action. We've been in action for a while, man. It's glad to have the brother back.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? Looking good, representing the coach. You heard him dropping them history facts and knowledge.
Yeah.
Man, why don't you let them know, man, what you've been going and overcoming.
Yeah. Well, hi everybody. You know, again, man, you know, coming to you always in love, you know, peace, and like Don Cornelius would say, soul.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been on a little health journey. You know, one thing that we have to recognize in our community, that we need to be a critical conversation taking place. I'm dealing with prostate cancer. And again, what I really want to advocate around this conversation in this body of work, I had the HIFU treatment. I chose to stay away from the chemo, the radiation, the proton, the photon. There's some other different elements that you can use to deal with prostate cancer. But what I will like to challenge our community is to really start getting involved. If your loved ones, your men and your young nephews and uncles and brothers and granddads, you know, starting at 50, 55 years old, everybody should be getting checked. That is really, really critical because early detection is so vital with me because I've been dealing with brain tumor for the past 20 years. My endocrinologist had been checking my PSA, putting the finger up my rectum, you know what I mean, doing the whole nitty gritty, really down gritty, you know what I mean? I wanted to know because my brother, I have two brothers that had previous had prostate cancer. One contracted it from the Vietnam War with Agent Orange. And my older brother, he's 86. His name is Condi. He also contracted it. And so the doctor said that I was predisposed. So being predisposed, I started early, man, about 55, getting my PSA checked. And so it was just a routine check in September where blood levels was in my urine were elevated. And then they sent the culture in and it came back detection of prostate cancer, stage 2. They have 4 stages, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is the critical. There are different types. When you look at the prostate, it's like two, I would like to say pecans, if you want to use the term pecans on your left and your right. And what happened with mine specifically, I had more cancer on the left than I did on the right. And so what they did is this HIFU treatment was designed to pinpoint robotically the cancer, a high intensity light that they used to burn the cancer cells away so it didn't harm a lot of the other cells and tissues in that area. What happens a lot of times when you use chemo, radiation, or those methods, they have a tendency to do more damage than good. So it's so important that we really have an open and honest conversation around our health issue in our community. a lot of times we as men are ashamed, or we try to be all this macho and all this other stuff going on. But we really, really, really need to focus on it. We really want to live, and we need to live to really impact our community. And we need our women, our daughters, our nieces, all the loved ones that really are concerned about Black men need to start challenging us, having a real honest conversation. You know, to ask the person, listen, have you been checked? Or I go with you, or I take you. You know what I mean? A lot of times we got to get up and say, I will take you. You know, I will go with you. Because we have a history in this country of the medical system has never been honest with us, and it has been very destructive to us. You know, you can mention the Tuskegee experiment, the Genesis Project. I mean, the list goes on and on in the early conception of this country that was taken from people that was already here. We always have been the most analyzed, the most poked on, the most everything that you can imagine you can do to a human being. Black people have had it done to them. And most often, when you think about Henrietta Lacks, you know, think about her cell and what her cell revolutionized in the medical field, biomedical field, and she and her family have never got a dime from it. But that, her cell today has cured many, many different types of diseases across the world, y'all. And again, it come from a Black woman. So that's how powerful we are as a people. And most often, we are neglected totally because we have a system that is baked in this country to do all it can. They want to try to do all they can to destroy us. Besides that, we still rise, we're still here. And I think that's the magnificence of us as a people, is we continue to never give up. So I really want to challenge you guys in our Flint area community, outside of our community. If you have any loved ones that are chocolate, please consider taking them to the doctor. Please consider doing everything that you can to help coach them. And one thing that we like to do, if anyone is interested, I like to start either a group. I'll come down to our Black Lives Matter office, where we can start having some real heart-to-heart conversations. Because a lot of times with men, we don't want to have those conversations. So if anybody is out there that's interested, want to start a prostate cancer group, where we can self-help, help one another, get information, do a lot of things that we can do to help lengthen our lives so we can be effective. So that's what's been going on, my brother. You know what I mean? I've had some challenges with my health, you know, and there's been some valleys and some hills. There's been some mountains and some streams.
That's right.
And it was challenging, you know, to be honest with you, you know, with that mental, you know, your mental, man, you know, that's another area that we need to be honest about. Our mental acuity of what's going on in our minds. When we're not connected to people and people are doing that wellness checking on one another, that's another area that we need to be working on, guys, to strengthen. How do we check on each other? If you're going through something, do you know what a phone call can do? Just say, I'm not asking you for no money. I'm just calling to see how you're doing. That's all. Just a wellness check.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times we need to really focus on some areas where we can really work to strengthen who we are mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Man, I think that was very well put, man, how you put that down, brother. And definitely want to send you continuous blessings because I've been watching the process, you know, over the time and seeing you, go through the ups and downs, the valley lows.
Yeah.
Just to be able to see you moving the way you're moving now, right, man? I think that's inspirational, to say the least, right?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
You still going?
Oh yeah, still going.
Still got way.
I mean, right now, you know, to be honest, I got a diaper on. I'm still bleeding. You know what I mean? Like even this morning was a challenge to get up. You know, and a lot of times we ashamed to have that conversation. You know what I mean? But I'm being in the raw because I think it's so important for us to be honest.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And even this morning, you know, it was a struggle to get up, but I had to somewhat check in. You know, with our ancestors, you know what I mean? And our ancestors continue to speak to me because the whole reason that they were is because I am. And so that's something that we have to lock into if we talk about moving forward.
Nah, man, I think a lot of times you be scared of that. Like, you know, just being honest with yourself. and just understanding how, maybe where your health is, if you're sick, if you're down and out, if you got to do some things that, you don't want to kind of speak on, man. The only way we're going to get understanding if he is keeping it real, man. So
Keeping it real.
I think, man, that's solid, man. That give me something as a young man to just be more, I guess more engaged about checking in on my health, going to routine checkups.
Right.
Sometimes we neglect that because we think that, hey, listen, we got all the time in the world.
Right.
I'm young, I'm active, I don't see nothing physically wrong with me, right? I feel okay. You never know what might be brewing inside of you, right?
Right.
And so it's always, it's on the safe side, really kind of do them checks and balances, but making sure that you're up to par.
Oh, that's critical, man. And then again, like you say, making sure that you're checking with your granddads, your dads, your uncles, your cousins, your nephews, all those people that's in your environment or that you connected to.
Right.
You definitely want to have that conversation. Just ask them. Have you checked your prostate? Have you checked your colon? How's your mental state? Just ask that conversation. You know what I mean? I challenge our community to just do a wellness check. You know what I mean? And you'd be surprised if somebody may say, no, I haven't. And then you say, well, I'll go with you.
I think that's the hardest thing to say, just to kind of come out and say. But then, just to want to see somebody in a better position by even just taking them to a doctor appointment. I think that's you showing initiative.
Yeah.
I needed to holler at my grandfather, man, just even having this conversation. Because my elders, they're getting a little older. Right? My grandmother is 93, right? It's a blessing, right? Be having her here, and my grandfather, he's 90. So just to be able to, hear them, on the phone and talk to them because they in Mississippi. So it's good to hear them, talk to them on the phone. But my grandfather, like a product of old school, he ain't gonna tell you what's wrong with him.
No,
he ain't gonna say nothing about it. Be hurting. And, you know what I'm saying? He just ain't gonna talk about that. But I think it's a thing of, us pulling it out.
Right. Pulling it out.
Ain't nothing wrong with having conversations about letting them, be comfortable enough to kind of say whatever's going on.
Right.
But I think that's a rich conversation, and we need to more have that. We need to have more general check-ins, just like you said, just a phone call. A lot of times, sometimes you might call because you want something, or and people don't want to receive the answer or receive the call because they know you want something.
Right.
So if you change that whole process of just calling, just checking, hey brother, hey sister, I'm just checking in with you, just seeing how you doing. I ain't want nothing. Just want to make sure you're okay. That could go a long way.
Long way, man.
We should really kind of start doing it. We should have a Rolodex about just calling people down the line every day, just checking in with our folks.
Just checking in.
That's all. I don't want nothing. I got everything I need. I'm good.
Good. You breathing?
Right?
Bye.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
And you know what I mean? I think that may even help somebody who may be dealing with an issue or maybe having a rough day or just having time coming, getting up and getting at it. You may have been the one to motivate them to go through the day.
Speaking of that, there's a profound story that really happened. There was a situation where a young man in California was walking to the Golden Gate Bridge. And he said he left a note. He said that if someone speak to me or smile at me, I will not jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Shut up.
Why this information is known today, this is a true story, guys, is that nobody smiled at him nor spoke to him. And he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and committed suicide. Why this was known is because he left a note in his apartment. And I'm just using that as emphasizing the importance of a wellness check. We really do care about one another. And one of the big issues with prostate cancer is, especially with men or black men, our fellas has always been, like our go-to in our community. You know what I mean? If we're not bigger in being able to have sex, you know what I mean? It's almost like we're ready to die. And I think it's such a misnomer. I mean, let's be honest. It's such a shame because, we were bred in this country. Right. We were bred as animals. And we was bred to, have sex with our sisters, our nieces, our mothers. You follow what I'm saying? That's what the white man did in this country. I know y'all don't want to hear that. But so often, this conversation is connected because when you think about much of what goes on in our health with black men is a byproduct of it being enslavement. Even in our minds, we're culturally conditioned to hate ourselves. So we constantly conditioned to hate ourselves and hate our bodies and hate our black skins. And so we do those things to destroy ourselves, because that's why it's so easy for us to kill each other and walk around here with $500,000 chains on our neck, but do nothing for our community. And so, as I said earlier about our phallus and how that has been the only, when you think about the pride or the property that we have ourselves, the only thing that we have is our phallus between our legs, right? We got control over that. And so many times it's conflated with power. Many times it's conflated with just recklessness, right? Having all these children, not being married and not being able to take care of them, right? So there's a whole host of things when you think about prostate cancer and what it means and what it does to the mentality of a man when he's, first of all, have no understanding about who he is and his purpose and his connection to the universe, because it's not between his legs. And so that's another conversation we need to have.
I think you hit around the nose when you said just that, we can't perform, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then, it's over, right?
It's over.
I didn't heard that from
Yes, sir.
people before.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? That's a very, very low mark on the stick for us, man. That's just a procreation type of tool, but we hear much more.
Much more.
So it's some things that we got to actualize itself. Beyond that.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. But when you mention that, if you don't know who you are, you don't know your purpose, then that's why you're so screwed up. That's why we're so screwed up. Because when we boil it down your common denominator, then that's all you were here to when you were enslaved, right? That was your purpose. You follow me? And so when you have no understanding of who you are and your purpose, as far as the nurturing the family and what your leadership does for generations, again, that's how you demean yourself and you destroy yourself. That's why it's easy to poison your community with dope. That's why it's easy to kill one another. That's why it's easy to be an enslaved athlete today. You know what I mean? We are ghetto rich. You know what I mean? Ghetto rich. You know what I mean? Don't have no connection to our communities. Walking around here driving around here in a Maybach car, and you can't even go nowhere in it.
See, we definitely got work to do just in general, man, as far as what we're gonna do in life. That brings me to our next subject, man. Like when we talking about this city and talking about the state of Flint, Michigan right now, we've been in transition. It seems like we've been in transition for a very long time. But where do you see, from your perspective, the direction of where we're going with the current leadership in place?
To hell.
That's straight up.
When you think about, the history of Flint, most people don't realize, the plantation owner called Mott, in 1937, he said, kill all of those workers that were striking. The sit-down strike took place. And so Charles Stewart Mott said this, to kill all of those people that were striking against his company. So if you start off with that paradigm, as far as the ruling rich, Flint, Michigan, and always have been a corrupt city. And so it's always been ruled by a few people, which it is today. And so when you think about Neely and the council and those people that are down there now, they have no interest in our community, in the people, because if you look at 80% of the children in Flint, Michigan are living in poverty. 39% of the residents are living in poverty. Do you know Flint, Michigan is one of the poor cities in the state of Michigan?
Oh, for sure.
Flint, Michigan is one of the poorest cities in state Michigan. Right now, they got $94 million of opera dollars. Look what's going on with that. There's only been one program that has been approved over there at the Latinx community, over there on the east side. Dr. Mona has gotten approved. Every other project has not gotten approved. Because by the end of the year, they can lose all that money if they're not under contract to get that money out, right? All that money could go back to the state. The $94 million, if it's not dealt with by December the 31st, we lose all that. So to answer your question, we in trouble.
And just kind of even going into that, like when you talk about the projects that are approved, it seems like it's always, you know, the same people getting the same support, you know, and they pass fine colors. But the moment we try to do something that's going to be beneficial for us, like we talking about coming from the community aspect,
Right.
it gets shot down.
Shot down.
And it's no public outcry. Folks just be looking like, okay, well, that's just how that goes. But it's our own, sometimes our own that's down there that's shooting us down.
Exactly.
That's, I guess, you know, that's what I be looking at. You know, we can't say that we ain't got people in position. Because we got people in position.
Got people in
We
position.
got people that, you know, that look like us, that's supposed to reflect our culture, is definitely in position.
Yes, sir.
But when you see the activity that's taking place down there at City Hall, when you see what's taking place at the administration, from the county level, at the state level, man, we just be looking like we running in circles, man. Don't seem like nothing be happening, nothing be shaking. And that is just like a disservice for us, right? All our people that championed us and fought for us all these years and decades and centuries to put us in position to do the work. Now we get to the table and we don't know how to slice up the pie.
Right, right. Well, then, you know, that's by design, because if we did, and I know it's a larger city, but if we, even if some of the council members would talk to some of the council people in Detroit to help them understand, Detroit is doing some wonderful things down there. Those black and brown people are making some things happen.
Yeah.
And they're, man, they are pulling the legislators together to bring those entities into those pockets in the city. They just gave some money to $40 million to the Dexter Avenue project. Come on, that's one of the that area over there, one of the hardest hit areas in Detroit. With crack cocaine.
Yeah.
And so they got a revitalization program going over there. They got neighborhoods going over there right now that they are getting money to rebuild, restore, and repair their communities. Now, if our city council member people were proactive or even cared, they would be mirroring other communities that's doing good work, because that's how you bring ideas to our city.
Right.
See, you talk to other people that's doing things. You don't take it upon yourself and think you know everything, because nobody knows everything. But when you're talking to different council members in different cities and different agencies and what they're doing in their community, what they're doing over here in Atlanta, or what they're doing down here, especially from a black perspective, and a lot of times we don't want to talk about blackness. You got to be bold to talk about blackness. Because Jews don't care about talking about Jews.
Man, listen, DC are the black. Then what I've got a problem with us is that we so prone to be all in everybody else's business but our own. We'll be talking about what's going on in Israel and Gaza, and we'll be so concerned with the folks in Ukraine. But then people in our own city, we struggling. We in a war right now.
Right now.
And it's a classism here.
Come on.
Right? People on the bottom that's trying to, folks that keep trying to keep them on a permanent lower class. But you got people that's striving to fight against that.
Right.
And we having the hardest time getting over the hump. That's when we say, like, how do we get our own affairs together? Are you content the way that we live in here? When you're looking at abandoned properties, you don't see no economic development. Your children don't go to the schools in the neighborhood that you grew up in, let alone the one you're living in right now. You don't want to change that?
Thank you. And that's the issue. You don't want to change that, because it is about building from within. And then when you think about history, and that's why they're trying to destroy history, just what you just said. Do you know after 1861 and 1865, the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, do you know the number of black cities that was prominent, that was self-sufficient, that had banks and insurance companies?
Come on.
Not just Tulsa, Oklahoma.
It was a lot of them.
It was a whole lot of them, bro.
Yeah. That was just one that everybody know about.
That's the one everybody knew about. Most of them was doing most of them was empowered because it was self-empowerment. We loved ourselves and we focused on education. Yeah. We was focused on building, and we started at what we own right there. Yeah. Not going outside of our community. Right. And so when you talk about what's going on in Flint, that's the mindset. One of the things that's going on in Flint they've been so beat down over 30, 40, 50 years. And the only thing that we had going on was the auto industry, right? So that was a trick.
We didn't even look past the auto industry.
Didn't at all.
We didn't reinvest
At all.
Because it was booming. We was the third richest city per capita.
Per capita.
When it was running.
Yes, sir.
But we didn't think about beyond that, right?
But look what happened. Look what they did. Mm-hmm. They destroyed St. John community across the country. We can't let white people off the hook because when you look at it, all of our neighborhoods across the country was destroyed by the interstate highway. Number one. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about what's going on in Flint, again, Flint was destroyed. Mm-hmm. The heart, the Mecca, the heart of the black community was destroyed. Right. It was destroyed like Israel right now is destroying the Palestinians. That's what happened to Flint, Michigan, and other cities across the country. And a bomb was dropped on our community. And we are still in a Holocaust today. Let me say this. They always want to talk about Jews and Israelis. Mm-hmm. The Israelis in 1917 are illegally occupying the land that they shouldn't be in, number one. That's right. The Holocaust didn't last for 4 years. Mm-hmm. We are still in the Holocaust as black and brown people to this day. So never get that twisted. Right. When you talk about the Holocaust, right? And America is a business, a business. Yeah. And our biggest problem, if you talk about how many black businesses right now is in Flint, how many black-owned businesses is in Flint? How many? How many? See, when you talk about our community, let's be real. I'm not talking about beauty shops, barber shops. How many really black-owned businesses when you look out there on Miller Road or Corona Road? What kind of credit unions do we have? What kind of heating companies do we have? Plumbing companies do we have? Car dealerships do we have? Insurance companies do we have? Mm-hmm. When you think about longevity and legacy, because we used to have that on St. John. We had longevity on St. John. We had everything that we needed. We didn't have to go downtown. At one time, we did. I'm from Chicago, but raised on St. John. Mm-hmm. Almost never went downtown Flint.
Because you had everything you need in your neighborhood.
Come on now.
So it was a pride that was about
pride. Yes, sir.
But now, I guess we've been, like you said, we've been beaten down so long. Folks don't even want to build up the neighborhood they come from. They rather try to move out there to Grand Blanc or build a house on Flushing or on Fenton. Right? You try to build a house on Fenton.
Well, black people want to be white.
Yeah, I mean, it be.
Let's just be honest.
It be that.
That'll be that.
You be trying to run and trying to be around other folks instead of, building up what you got here, right, in your sector that you come from, the history. Now, we was talking about the schools the other day, and I come from Central High School.
Me too.
Big Red in the house, right? All the history that we didn't put down, man, all the championships, all the strolls, right? Everything that we done, man, my children don't know nothing about that.
Nothing. And that's intentional.
But yeah, they try to erase your history.
That's what they're doing. Not trying.
They did it.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And you got
Northwestern, Northern.
Yeah.
Go.
Come on.
They did that intentional, brother.
Right.
This has not been unintentional. Oh. Everything they have done to Flint has been intentional. Oh, and again, we've been complicit. That's why they killed Fred Tucker. See, we've been complicit.
And so then I guess you know what I'm saying. We have been complicit, but then it's the thing it is. I guess for solutions. Mm-hmm. What do we need to do to get a hold of our affairs to change this around? We got to accept where we are right now. Mm-hmm. We in this boat. Mm-hmm. Right? That's going nowhere fast.
Okay.
What do we do now, today, to change our circumstances?
I think there has to be a full court press, meaning like we're doing now, social media. It has to be a re-education about our core values about loving one another and caring for one another. And we have to start building from within as far as businesses. We have to start boycotting these Arab stores. We have to be serious about going without spending money at places that look like us. And then we have to demand from other people that don't look like us, if they're going to be allies, they have to be true allies. Mm-hmm. See, that's how you start to rebuild. If you are going to be an ally, and in allyship, there's dollars. And one thing that this country is a business. So when we stop spending our money with people that doesn't look If we stop going out there on Miller Road, if we stop going out to Chick-fil-A, do you know what it could do to our community when we have these restaurants or these gaming or these things that we use every day, we need to have right here on the north side? See, that's the answer. How do we start reinvesting in one another? And start with mom and pops. How do we start with a trampoline place right on North Saginaw, a skating rink, build our own skating rink? How do we start with Burston and then put a swimming pool in Burston? You know, how do we partnership with someone at the state or the federal level? Because you can mirror what they're doing in Detroit or Chicago. They're getting resources in their community. And again, the government has a responsibility. The government don't do anything because we're not making them do anything. So we have leadership that's not doing what needs to be. They do it for white people. They do it for Jewish people. But they won't do it for black people because we don't want to be black. Anytime you talk about discrimination, you can literally go to the Supreme Court of this country and they say, prove discrimination. Now, is that terrible?
Well, we ain't got a leg to stand on.
They ain't got a leg to stand on.
That reminds
You think it's your imagination?
But that reminds me of what the Supreme Court just did, right? When they made a decision after Dana Nessel brought back the water crisis to the Michigan Supreme Court and talked about bringing this case up. They didn't even want to hear it
At all.
They told her, go on with this mess.
Go on with this mess.
Right. Just like, but the thing is, there's got to be some incompetence too, right? They messed up when they did that one person grand jury.
They did that on. They didn't mess up. They did
that intentionally, right?
Yes, sir. Okay.
To kind of fog everything. And sometimes you got to watch those different things. You got to watch how stuff be playing out. And then got the nerve to come in our face like they fighting for us. Knowing the whole time they jeopardizing us.
No,
right?
Yes, sir.
But if you don't understand the game, you don't understand. You just lost in the sauce, right? And that's what's going on. It's like a circus. Like everybody just playing this game on you. People will never be held accountable for what happened in Flint.
Never. Snyder and his crew.
Nothing. And they still making money to
early. Come on now.
They still paid off. They done made away. They ain't got paid. And they done sold all our assets and they done moved on doing their thing, right? So we can stop even think something gonna happen like that.
Ain't gonna happen.
And then we talk about this settlement. It's terrible for our young people, right? It's terrible for parents that endure the crisis.
Yeah.
That won't get too much of nothing from the settlement. If they ever get something.
And the children are screwed up.
The children are screwed up, and then there's no foundation or lifetime plan for those children that's been impacted.
Oh, it's a lifetime plan. They got the juvenile center out there on Pasadena they just built, $35 million. Yeah. And then once they go there, then they're gonna go into state prison. So they got a plan for them.
See,
they got a plan for our children. They got a plan for our children.
Yeah, they put $30 million in juvenile detention center
on Pasadena, brand new.
Yeah, Pasadena Playhouse.
They ain't built a new school in Flint since '84. And then y'all keep talking about what the problem is. The problem is the leadership. Because again, when you go back to the water crisis, we should have shut the city down. That president, that Barack Obama mess came in here and screwed us royally.
Yeah.
Just because you got skin don't mean you are kin.
No,
and he was hired to handle white affairs. He screwed us up. And then we so blinded on the Obama penis, it got us in the mess we in today.
He came in. How did he come in like that? Yeah, give me some of that water.
Yeah. Gonna drink some water they brought from Niagara Falls. And then gonna have a little girl wrote him a letter.
Blew the water in from Niagara Falls.
Right. Water in from Niagara Falls.
On the private jet.
On the private jet.
He talking about give me some water. Yeah,
and back to what you're saying, man. Because one thing that is true that I have to, and I hate to say it about white people, but that's one thing they do, man. They are devils and they will kill. They ain't got no problem killing. They ain't got no problem taking. What's our problem? Why we ain't killing? Why we ain't taking? We get killed every day by the police and won't kill one of those white police officers that murder our people that look like me and you.
Man.
Right downtown, down Flint, you got all those judges, not one on black at the Superior Court. Not one on black downtown.
Right.
And they locking us up every day, giving us all kind of time. And what do? Nate Perry down there, another house Negro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sickening.
Yeah.
Because the only thing power really respect,
Mm-hmm.
if you start hollering at them like they holler, Malcolm X was clear
Mm-hmm.
by any means necessary. So to answer your question, it's got to be an approach to any means necessary. We got to start rebuilding our community from within. We got to start holding people accountable. We got to start boycotting. We got to start talking to our people, our ministers, and those people that believe so much in this white Jesus. We got to start asking them, stop spending your money with people that are not your allies. That's the answer, man.
Right.
And then the other answer is, don't send our kids out to these schools. Let's start educating. Let's go to the Freedom School and start opening up these homes to educate. Don't send our kids out to Grand Blanc, Russian, Flushing, and Davidson. Your dollars will follow the child. So let's open up our own schools in our community, in our homes. That's what we used to do. In 1984, they dropped a bomb on Move in Philadelphia, y'all, because they wanted to send their kids to school. They wanted to send they wanted to educate their own children. But the city and the state said no, they were trying to make them send their kids for those dollars to those schools. And they dropped a bomb on the Move organization, killed all those people and them children. And now you can go to school anywhere you want to. See, what we got to do is start educating our own, because they are attacking education. They are attacking books. They are saying that it was an honor to be enslaved.
Kids say they playing, and they falling for it.
And they falling for it.
People falling for it.
It was a joyful experience to be enslaved.
Right. You had a good time.
A good time.
On slavery.
Come on now.
And people buying this shit.
I'm buying it.
That's crazy.
And so when you say the answer is, so we can be clear, guys, I want us to be clear and not move over this. Again, how do you build, or how do you see a better future? Again, guys, we have to start building within and using some of the models that have been laid out. Rosewood, Colfax, Tulsa, North Carolina, South Carolina, Richmond, Atlanta. The list goes on and on back in the early, when you're talking about from 1865 up to 1920, Prohibition. We had some powerful, powerful communities that had airplanes, man, buses, man, that had 16-story buildings, man. Do you know what Mary McLeod did, and Madam C.J. Walker and Miss Nolan? You know, all them people did tremendous work in the community by building an infrastructure, y'all. That's what we can do, guys, because we still being lynched. Maybe it's not by the tree, but our minds are being lynched on a daily basis. Anytime you can allow your loved one to be gunned down by the police and you do nothing, Carl Rittenhour and George Zimmerman are still walking free today. Nothing has happened to them. It's unacceptable. In our community right now, what's going on between the policing and the state police, the city police, the federal police, again, man, black people, in my opinion, what's going on with the NBA, the NFL, if anybody is watching any of those, to me, if anybody is watching any of those games, they are part of the problem. Those athletes they are part of the problem because they are high-tech slaves. They are not engaged in our community. They're not working, and they have an obligation to be funneling money to our community. There are several Michigan players that were produced here. You had that boy, Kuzman gave $1 million to the YMCA to be built. But did he give a $500,000 to Black Lives Matter to a group that's going to do some real on the ground work? No, anytime you say something about black or put black out there, as far as trying to do anything, even if you go to any United Way or the plantation model owners, you know what I mean? If you ask Ridgeway White, you know, to support something that's dealing specifically with blackness, they're not going to do it. But if it's Jewish, Chinese, or you always got to say, oh, anytime it's black, it's got to be for everybody. You know, it's got to be for everybody.
That's
It just can't be focused on black.
No, we can't do that.
It's got to be for Latinx.
Yeah.
It's got to be for purple, green, yellow, and blue people. You know, you got to have the psychedelic people.
Yeah.
You can't have black people.
You right there, black in the proposals.
Let me tell you. You know, white people in this country does not fear our violence. What they are terrorized.
We ain't violent.
Wait a minute, let me get this point. White people in America does not fear our violence. What they are terrorized about is our love. See, that's what's going on. Yeah. If we could love one another, we could control the world. That's what's going on.
So if we emphasize on loving each other more,
love the one. Just Flint could turn around overnight, man. If we really love one another, open up our hearts and our doors to one another, nobody would be hungry. Everybody would educate. And again, we wouldn't be ashamed of each other. We wouldn't be running out to Grand Lake, and we wouldn't be running out to Flushing. We wouldn't be going Otisville. We wouldn't want to be the only black on the white block. My white neighbors love me. Every night they walk by your house, they say, those niggas. Because that's what they doing, Grandma. I mean, you laughing, but that's what they do.
But these niggas be ready to go out there, though.
They stuck in their socks. My white friend Bob, he let me borrow his snowblower. He's my friend. I'm going to have pumpkin pie. What is a pumpkin pie?
Hey, man. Hey, I mean, it's clear as day, man. We confused. And like, man, like that actually frustrated me too, man. When you got an organization like Black Lives Matter, right? They only call when it's a situation and they in need. But never are they on the front line to help support the cause of somebody else. Right? No. It's like, okay, well, you know, they find themselves in a bind. And oh, where Black Lives Matter at? You hear it on these other social media sites and all these other podcasts. Like, yeah, we're Black Lives Matter. We're NAACPA, NAACP.
Right.
You ask for all these other folks, all these other people, but are you there to help support these movements?
Nope.
Have you made any contribution to the movement at all?
Nope.
Other than ran your mouth?
Nope.
Have you done anything beyond got into a protest because you thought it was cool? You want to take a picture?
It's a fad.
It was a fad at the time. But are you really down here on the groundwork, doing the work on the back end, helping these folks see them through, dealing with families and their heartache, going down to the county jail, trying to press charges on the prosecutor? Are you really ready for all that? So they don't be doing that, but they be the first ones to call like, yeah, we're Black Lives Matter at. We're Black Lives Matter. Right. We need some support, right? Black Lives Matter ain't came out and said nothing about this. Right. But you ain't did nothing about none of this stuff. You ain't stepped up. You ain't even supported the folks that's out there on the front line. Right. So then when you come and say these things, you know, people who really activated, really out there on the front line, really out there in the war, they look at you as a joke. Right. That's comedy. That's satire. You know, and it's ridiculous. I'm so sick of that though, brother. Well, let me tell you. See, let's get this. So the concept of Black Lives Matter and how that went viral. But let me show you what White Lives Matter do. The Heritage Foundation. Yeah. Hear me. Yeah. Hear me now. The Heritage Foundation. American Enterprise. Yeah. All those white think tanks writing policies. Yeah. See, you don't hear about them every day, but they're writing policy across the country for legislation, brother. So what you just said, when we get offended by something unjustly done to us, then we want to call on Black Lives Matter on NAACP. But if we sit next to Jerry Jones, like Michael Irvin, tap dancing, before the white girl said something about him that she lied about. Him and Eric Williams back in the day. He want to run to black people for help, like Tiger Woods. Now they want to be black, right? So when you see white people got their think tank and be laying down laws and policies that's going to make sure it's going to disenfranchise black people across the board. Flat out, we ain't got to march. We ain't got to march. None of that stuff. We ain't got to do nothing, brother. No. We just do it. We just did it. Because we got billionaires backing us. Right. They got billionaires backing them, brother. So you got
ghetto millionaires that don't want to put no money in the Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Because they want to say it started this, it did it, that. You know, they always want to paint the picture from the NAACP, Urban League, something's wrong, something wrong, something wrong, until now something that egregiously happened to you or your family member. Now where they at? Where's Al Sharpton?
Yeah.
But you ain't putting nothing in the jar, right?
He ain't did that.
You ain't put nothing in the jar.
He did that.
But now you want to be black. But other than that, you want to be with the Kardashian, right? You want to be under that white fake booty, right? Or you want to be with Kanye West, right? Now he white or black or whatever he is. White lives matter. Yeah. White lives do matter. It always have mattered in America. Don't get that twisted. I know you black people out there want to be white. I know y'all do. I ain't hating on y'all. But you come to me, let me say this. Any of y'all remember the Tutsis and the Hutus in Rwanda?
Right.
Do you know who gave them those machetes? The Israeli government.
To fight against each other.
The Israeli government.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talking about the Israeli government. Number one terrorist country on the world.
Yeah, you see what they do.
America is the number one terrorist. And they have proxies.
Yeah.
Because they literally, in 1917, if you look at the history, it was the Balfour document.
Yeah.
Meaning in 1888, the British, at one time, Britain colonized 171 countries. Britain colonized 171 countries, y'all. And they literally bust up in Africa, the continent of Africa, bust that up. 1884. Don't get it twisted. Everybody took parts of it. From the Belgium, the French, the Italians, Britain, everybody. Just took it.
Yeah. To this day.
And then over there in that area, they call it the Middle East, but it's Africa. That's Africa. That ain't no Middle East.
Right.
Unacceptable, man.
Yeah.
So when you know the history in 1917, those Jews got kicked up out of there, got kicked up out of Europe. Got kicked up out of Europe, ran down there and talking about that's their land.
Yeah.
That area over there in Palestine is going to fight forever. And that's one thing that we don't, that's why we so screwed up in America, because we're not willing to die for what's right. Ain't nowhere in the world that we should be in the condition that we in America as black people. We have sold out our soul to capitalism. We want to be in our Maybachs. We want to be in our, Jay-Z and them got a $200 million house. Who need a $200 million house?
Nobody.
Him and Beyonce and their kids got a $200 million house. For what?
That's probably just one of them.
I know it's an investment. And the way they got it structured, they're going to make $500 million on the house, in 30 years. It's an investment. But the point that I'm making, guys, is this is connecting the dots. A lot of times we say, well, why are we in the condition that we're in Flint? Don't want to lose that point of what you asked me. The problem in Flint is us. Is us being complicit? Is us not loving one another? Is us not putting each other first? Is us not willing to take back what has been taken from us? We are going to die.
Yeah, that's for certain.
All of us, everybody listening, your grandparents, I don't care who you are going to die. But we can choose from this day forward to live a different way if we start thinking different. I'm not saying that we all don't have some complicity in our miseducation. We have all been culturally conditioned to hate ourselves.
Right.
But there come a time when taking the chance to start loving yourself and start healing yourself to honor your ancestors. That has to be a process. Because from Jared, they said vote. They said if you vote, then you're voting in your power to get some things done in your community. Now they gerrymander our community. So they tell us to vote. At one time, in 1865, they were telling us to vote. Then we go try to vote, we get lynched. Then they say in certain places around the country, you can't give nobody water if they in line trying to vote. You can't sit down if you're trying to vote.
Yeah.
See, all those things are measures to discourage people to vote. So if voting supposed to bring about dollars, supposedly,
right?
That's the lie,
Right?
because that's the lie.
Yeah.
The real dollars is developed by those that are in power, because we on the little scale are infighting amongst ourselves, where the rich people, just like what just happened with the UAW strike. That right there,
that should be motivational for people.
Real motivation. Tesla, if you're working for Tesla, it's almost like being enslaved. If you're working for Toyota, unacceptable conditions. And again, it's because Elon Musk is a devil. He cares nothing about the workers. And again, back to manipulation. If you got a little something, you're not homeless, right? So since you're not homeless, you look down on me. I'm homeless. I'm your cousin.
Right.
Right. So we're not gonna collectively work together. In if you go back to 1666, the Bacon's Rebellion. What happened with 1666? The Bacon Rebellion was around people that were indigent, people that were brought, white, black, Native American people. All these people were working together. And what they did in 1666 was they broke that up, because they saw that Europeans, Africans, and Native Americans were working together saying, no, we are not going to work for you white devils. So then what they did, they started developing laws to give poor whites more power over blacks, enslaved blacks. And they was genociding the Native Americans. See, again, people don't read their history, study their history. When you go back to 1666, the Bacon Rebellion, that's what that was all about, man. Because so often we are mimicking our history over and over and over again. Right. That's why people want to do. That's why DeSantis and across the country want to destroy books, because the information is right there in the book.
Right.
As far as what this country has did and continue to do. This country was taken from people that was already here. This country has always been a business.
Always, and two, make that point too. We just all didn't come from Africa.
No.
It's at one point in time, these 7 continents was all one.
So all one.
We were already here.
Already.
I understand. We were already here. We were already civilized. We show other cultures how to be civilized.
Thank you.
If we was original people of this world, then everything and everybody come from us. So obviously we had to show the way. And all our history right now is locked up in the Vatican. Right now. And none of us got access to it.
Come on.
Not even the richest black folks got access to the Vatican to be able to get those records.
Come on.
And that's a shame. But the thing is to understand that so many have benefited off our backs. So many have benefited from our knowledge.
Yes.
What the structures we built and developed. Structures are still here, like the Sphinx, right? The pyramids. Structures are still here to this day. When a building can't even last no more than 100 years.
Right.
That lets you know how powerful we are.
The Olmecs.
We got to get back to that. We got to get back to channeling that energy.
Come on, man.
It ain't about all these driving Maybachs and having all the rings and the jewelry on and looking fly and just thinking that stuff is cool.
Going to the strip club, throwing up $100,000. Come on, man.
Crazy when somebody hungry and your cousin help homeless.
Come on, man.
Those are the things of our mindset and our priorities back in play. So that's when I say, like, what is the solutions? And everybody got to buy in.
Everybody got to buy in.
You can have a few of us out here in position, but everybody else is hurting. But they don't know. We don't know how to be on code with each other.
Right.
Even when we talk about this city of Flint, like 80,000 people, right?
When
we talk about how we can change this around, we got to believe in each other. We got to have some core fundamental values that we live by. Meaning, like, I'm not going to take from my brother. I'm not going to kill. We got to stop all that taking each other out.
Right.
We need every one of us. Like,
everyone.
Everybody play a part.
Nobody is expendable.
Nobody's expendable, right? Even the lost, right? Even our handkerchief brothers and sisters down there, they play a part too.
They play a part.
Now, we can get them to be on the mindset of being spooks by the doors and
Yeah.
really playing their position to the T, because you're right there. You can be a benefit. It's just understanding what team you on, right? If you on for us really making it and really changing the game, it's gonna start everybody. So even our brothers in the streets, right? Our elders and our young people, we gotta get our young people up to par, so they can take this on, continue this fight for the next 100 years.
Come on.
We gotta be like, okay, this is our code. This is our code that we following when it comes down to our community, our investments, our public health, right? Our public policy, how we, develop structures and centers, right? Our knowledge, education. Forget about the curriculum down there at the state level, right? Forget about that, right? That's gone. We ain't benefited off of that.
Come on.
Let's start building out them knowledge houses.
Right.
When we talk about these things, when you talk about Tulsa, but it was many other Black enterprises all around
the country.
Right? All around. Let's look at what we were doing before Reconstruction happened.
Right.
Like we were at our highest during our time, because
come on.
at the end of the day we had nothing but each other.
None but each other. We couldn't go play with white people.
And we had to
Couldn't go play. Tiger couldn't go play.
We had to spend money with each other. Right? And that's the thing.
Kanye couldn't go play with Kim.
No, real talk though.
Real talk.
It wouldn't have been none of that. So it's the thing of saying, like, when we get back into our neighborhoods and when we get back to building and buying from each other, supporting one another, then that makes everything in this whole situation strong.
Yeah,
we got to know that. Stop going outside of this, right? I think those are some beginnings that we can.
Those are good beginnings.
Some simple stuff first.
Right.
Because the more it get complex, people get lost.
But what you said about not so much getting complex, I said earlier about the love factor. See, the love factor, what you just said, encompasses everything you just said. Because I will open up my door and I will feed you. I'm not afraid of you. Right. I'm not afraid of your son. I'm not afraid of your daughter. On our block by block. See, block by block, we should start having a mentality in Flint, Michigan. Let's go block by block. Let's start healing one another block by block. That means I'm going to have dinner tonight. Tomorrow night, we're going to eat at Boo Boo's place.
I like that.
The next night, we're going to Malika's place, Kara's place. Again, not being ashamed of one another. If your son is lacking or your daughter is lacking, they can't read, right?
Right.
See, those are some little things. Whoever's at home out there in Regency, we changed Regency into Regency condominiums, right? So we changed the name, even though the people are in there, but we're going to start thinking about them differently. We're going to start engaging them differently, right? Because we're going to have people that's going to be willing to go apartment by apartment. Okay, what is the need?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start working on Adam. Can't read.
Yeah.
He's 3 or 4 years old. Then we're going to start having, at the community center, we're going to have after school reading program.
Come on now.
See, that's how you start doing it little by little. You ain't got to ask the Department of Education.
No.
See, right there, we got that community on the block.
Yeah.
Big Mama.
Yeah.
Or Aunt Sally.
Yeah.
So we're going to have 45 minutes of reading.
Flat out. Turn the game on. Turn the laptops away. We don't need none of that stuff. Right.
Right on the block.
Some fundamental.
You ain't got to bust nobody nowhere. Right on the block.
Yeah.
Block by block. We're going to go block by block.
That's the concept.
So when you talk about what can we do, start doing block by block. That should be one of our calling cards. Block by block.
I like that.
Block by block. Let's start healing block by block. I challenge our community, our different block clubs, block by block. Let's open up. I'll be the first one to open my house up. Anybody in 831 East 8th Street? That's where I live. I'm willing to have a reading session. Start on my block. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Friday night, let's start it. Bring your children over there or walk over there. Whatever we need to do. Again, 35, 45 minutes. Let's start with the basics.
I like that.
See, that's what it's going to need to take. When you ask about what can we do, not asking nobody to do it for us. Right. That's been our biggest problem. 40 acre and a mule was a trick, was a lie. The 40 acre and the mule is in us. We got to get back to us. We got to stop trying to be somebody else. That's what got us tricked in America. We were invented over here. Black people been invented. We are not our native selves. They cut us off from our native self, and we too afraid to reach back into to Kenya, to Ethiopia, to Ghana, Sierra Leone, to Benin. We're afraid to go back to Mali. We don't want to deal with when we talk about Goree Island. We definitely don't want to deal with South Africa because they is the most insane environment on the planet too. Because they think we don't want to deal with South Africa. They really have lost their mind. But the Congo, we want to deal with the Congo and all them other,
Uganda.
50 is 54 countries on the continent and the island of Madagascar. We want to just deal with 53 of them because South Africa have to be blew up because it has no purpose.
Yeah. So those are some core fundamental values right there, what we can do.
Yes.
I think, we need to take hold of that. We need to start that. We ain't got to crap out, with our circumstances is. Let's start with the little bit we got to do something with.
Little bit we got to do something with. Because history, before this whole integration we were booming before integration. Do you know we was booming before integration, man? Dr. King got tricked. That white Jesus tricked him. He thought the devil ain't never gonna be your friend, man. So since if we study Dr. King, we see where he made the mistake. And it's okay. But now, like you say, we have to come from within, man. And that block by block is the key, guys. Tomorrow, you guys listening, take on this mindset. I've said this before a few years ago. Can you guys start just speaking to each other in love? How you doing today? A perfect stranger that looks like you, say hi. Women, y'all don't have to think that all those men are trying to bone you. We're not being predators. We just want to say hi. You can say hi back, even if you're married. We ain't trying to get your number.
We don't want your number.
We don't want your number. We just saying hi. Because that break down all that mess. We got to break that mess down. We got to start saying, how you doing today, brother?
Right.
How you doing today, sister? You ain't got to call me the N-word.
Right.
Please don't call me the N-word. You might get a fight. Even though I'm 67, I still got a little something going on. Don't call me the N-word. And I'm not going to call you the B-word.
Right.
That ain't happening on here.
Yeah,
I don't see nothing endearing about the N-word.
Right.
I ain't caring no rapper, even when Tupac said it. I love Tupac. He's one of my goats. But a lot of time I sing his song, I change the vernacular. I changed the verbiage because some of the stuff I don't have to say. Coming up like a brother living in the fast game. I don't have to use the N-word.
See,
I don't have to use
you be doing that too?
Yes, sir.
See,
come on now.
That I was tripping whenever I was.
Come on now.
I
gotta change them up because I love the meaning.
Yeah.
I'm a hellraiser. Stress getting major.
Come on,
Lord, can you save me?
Come on,
I'm that for real. I love what the Panthers was laying down. The Panthers say we're giving you 24 hours. Get rid of this.
Yeah.
Now you coming up missing.
Yeah.
Another thing, when you talk about gun control in this country, it seemed overnight they changed the gun laws with the Panthers, didn't they?
They sure did.
They did that overnight.
When
the Panthers started coming up there with their weapons,
yeah.
Did you know they changed the gun laws overnight?
That same night. That should show you the power though. That should show the power though.
They changed the gun laws.
Right.
When them black people, man, that's another thing with black people. When we start gunning up,
yeah.
Because they sell 1 million guns a month. 1 million guns a month. Alabama, you can buy, in Alabama, man, all you need is driver's license. They don't do no background check. They don't do none of that.
That's it.
They don't do nothing. They don't do no background check. All you got to do is have a legal, you got to be a resident of Alabama. Don't care where you come from.
What city?
What state? As long as you got a legal, valid Alabama license, you can get all the weaponry you want.
That's deep.
Well, I know that. I know somebody moved to Alabama to do just that. They're doing just that.
Got all the guns.
He said, Brother Naeem, I'm going to Alabama.
Just because of that. No,
That's what's getting ready to happen in this country.
yeah.
He said he ain't gonna be without his ammunition.
You think it's gonna be a war? You think it's gonna be what? World War III?
I don't think in our lifetime. I do think that there's going to be. I think it's going to be. I don't think so much on those terms.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have been in a cycle of world war. I think we've been in war. I think Black people has constantly been in war.
Mm-hmm.
We've never been in peace. But to answer your question, if you ask me on the world stage, I think it's all a game. I think the concept of war has always been a choice. War does not have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
People can actually disagree to agree with some things and respect borders.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you put this fake God into it, and I'm a Jew. So since I'm a Jew, then I got the monopoly on God. And then I threw out, oh, I'm an anti-Semite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, F you, in my opinion. You can come at me, and y'all can come at me if you want. Even though I study Islam, even the Arabs were complicit in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish community have been complicit in slavery.
Right.
Africans have been complicit.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes it so damaging is these so-called Jewish people have codified laws, policies, and procedures across the world, along with the Pope and Roman Catholic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their focus is world domination.
Mm-hmm.
And it's under like, if you don't believe or accept what we're laying down, you're anti-Semite, or we can justify killing you.
Yeah.
See, and that's why one reason you can respect Hitler. In some degrees, you can respect Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Hitler had something going on, because if not, look what the Israelis and America is doing to the Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I could respect Hitler,
Mm-hmm.
because I ain't gonna let it happen. I will be willing to die on my 10 toes,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to let you just kill me.
Or
you just gonna run up in my, you gonna come in my land in 1917,
mm-hmm.
or you guys gonna ship up. We was minding our own business in Africa,
mm-hmm.
and now you're gonna make it our fault for being in America.
Mm-hmm.
See, all that is connected.
Yeah.
See, when you think about it, everybody want to blame somebody else, but there is a starting point. It didn't fall out the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So to say World War III, there's been constant war with human beings from day one.
Yes, sir.
If you believe Cain and Abel,
Mm-hmm.
didn't one of them kill each other?
Mm-hmm.
That's your book. So Cain and Abel, and I don't know who was the incest that was going on, because I don't know where the children came from. So somebody was boning somebody, the white people. Y'all come from us,
Yeah.
and we had an understanding, God.
Yeah.
So if we the first people, then we had some respect. We run around naked. We ain't raping our women.
Right.
We ain't doing none of that y'all do.
Civilized.
We civilized.
Yeah.
Y'all call us uncivilized. We civilized.
Yeah.
We got everything: heart surgery, brain surgery, eye surgery. We doing all that thousands of years ago.
No tube.
With no tube. We had the knowledge of nuclear fusion,
Yeah.
but developed language and art and science and music.
Yeah.
Music, the basic music, the beat of the heart, our heart, the way your heart beat, is because we are vibrating to the universe.
Mm.
That's what Black people are.
Yeah.
And then we want to be white.
Yeah.
They can't even dance. They want to do a two-step or do that line dance. Grab your partner, swing around, yodi, yodi, yo. Come on, man. Who do that? That's some insane stuff. Oh, but that's what Bob wanted me to do. Bob gonna help me keep my job. I'm gonna keep my job because Bob goes line dancing. I want to live next to Bob.
That's exactly how it be sounding too, man. That's self-hatred.
Pumpkin pie. I get man, people talking about pumpkin pie. I say, y'all want what? Sweet potato pie. Playing with me.
Man, no, man, listen, man. Y'all just gotta look in the mirror and be proud and be thankful for who you are. Wearing this skin, man, this is an honor.
And you know,
this is a badge.
badge of honor because you know we don't realize. Do you know that this country gives out $1.7 trillion a year to other countries, and our communities look like they look. The homeless look. This country give away $1.7 trillion a year.
Look at the billing package they're trying to put together for Israel and Ukraine right now. Look at it. They're talking about 40-something billion for Israel.
Is that insane?
And another 16 for Ukraine.
Is that insane?
Billions of dollars. And you look at over here on the north side of Flint, one of those billions to turn this whole city around.
Turn it around.
A couple million.
Turn it around, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what the man just did in Canada? A millionaire in Canada just built 200 homes. No. 250 homes for the homeless. He took his own money.
Come on.
He took his own money.
That's real philanthropy. Not a write-off.
Not a write-off.
He built it. Right? Now folks is benefiting off of that.
So you tell me what black ghetto rich people could do. Floyd Mayweather got a car that cost $2 million. Do you know what $2 million could do in Battle Creek or wherever he come from? See, that's back to the mindset. What can we do for our own? Because when you say we're in a capitalistic country, okay, get the capital, bring it to the community.
That's simple. Yeah.
Kyle Kuzman gave money to the Y, but not to the black community.
Right.
Because he want to stay in grace with the white power structure. You know, Plantation Mott Owner, DDA, Uptown Development, Goyette, Wade Trim. The list goes on and on because none of them live in the city. You know, none of them white. Even police officers, firemen don't have to live in the city.
Right. That used to be ordinance.
That should be demanded back.
Of course.
You know, and like you said, we'd have no leadership with Neely. He is the devil incarnated. The other day, your thing over there on her. But anyway, I got to work on me.
Would you
pray for me? Just pray for me. I wish I was younger. I do. If I was younger, man, y'all wouldn't like me. People in Flint.
We need that in us.
I would be tearing some stuff up. Yeah, I would be a ninja. A lot of you police officers have to be in the protection witness plan. Council members too.
That can still go down right now.
Oh, most definitely.
I think it's gonna take that type of shit.
I think it is.
We gotta stop turning the gun on each other, man. Turn the other way.
Power don't respect none but power.
I'm trying to tell you.
If you know that you can get killed just as well as I can, you're not gonna pull the trigger.
You shape up real quick.
You shape up real
quick.
If
we had that in us though.
If George Dillon would have got shot that next day,
it would be no George Floyd. Would have been
none of that.
Yeah.
Now that's real talk.
That's real talk. It would.
That's real talk.
It wouldn't be Sheriff Swanson down here running around like he the white savior.
Come on now.
Got these coons running with him.
It
would be ridiculous. That wouldn't happen. We wouldn't need none of that stuff. No, we wouldn't even need a Black Lives Matter.
Wouldn't need no Black Lives Matter.
We in the game.
We in the game.
They know everybody on code, and if something one of us,
you gonna get gas.
It's a war. That's how you got to take it.
That's how you got to take
it. And even when it's physical, it's discrimination at the job. We putting up like that. Somebody get disrespected. You playing with one of our children in the educational system.
Yes.
That garbage, and we showing up there deep, and we ain't playing no game. We would drag you out of there. I bet you things will change.
Yeah, overnight, because again, once you understand what the game is, and that's why it's so important, because you understand what the game is, know what the rules are, and you see people breaking the rules every day. George Santos, a congressman from New York, has been charged with 21 charges, right? He's still in Congress. Let that be me or you. So my point I'm making is, white people can cheat, steal, rob, and kill, and get away with it.
Yeah.
They can deny people to vote like Donald Trump has done. Everything that Donald Trump has done, if that would have been
one of us,
no, Mr. Obama, he would have been under the jail as a president.
Look at this fool looking to run again. I'm baffled that we entertain this.
And then with Obama hasn't done anything, in my opinion, putting himself out there for black causes. He's playing it very safe to be alive and accepted by the white power structure.
Oh, for sure.
Unacceptable.
He did not do what we expected him
at all.
It was just a token. And everybody was sold on that.
And you got
we didn't hold him accountable to
nothing.
Us to really making a difference. Not just be, putting you on the plate and having you at grandma's house because it's a black president. No, we were supposed to change policy. We were supposed to stand up as a figure.
Never allow those justices, what they did with the Supreme Court, he should have never let that happen.
Yeah.
He should have shut it down. He had the power to shut it down, to make them put his judge in there.
Yeah.
That's what white folks do.
He could have vetoed. He wasn't strong enough.
That's what white people do.
Yeah. You saw how Trump
did it 3 people.
Yeah.
And they turned Roe versus Wade. It's been law for 50 years.
Yeah.
That's been a law for 50 years, man. A woman's right to have an abortion.
Just roll right over.
Roll right over. Citizens United, man.
And you got women supporting Trump. They still supporting him. You trampled all on your rights.
That's white supremacy.
You still just.
That's white supremacy.
No, I'm just saying that's a mind
sickness, man. It's because it go back to when you look at the inception of this country, man. It goes back to the inception. That white hatred and white power is baked in the DNA. So if Trump is saying and doing what they want him to do, even though they are poor and homeless and don't have teeth in their mouth, don't have a pot to piss in, that's their hero. If they get killed, at least I'm white. I'm not black.
Yeah.
No.
That's a real thing.
I know it's hard to accept.
It's hard. And like my grandpa, man, probably just say, man, sometimes you gotta laugh, keep them crying.
That's real, man.
It's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing, man, but it's real.
Our folks is living out here.
But like we said, back to our initial, your question was, what can we do? And I don't want us to miss this. We need to boycott and we need to build from within, guys, starting block by block. That's the answer. Yeah. If we're not going to do that, Flint is going to become a ghost town. Because what's going on, you got Lear. Flint is being sold off. People work in Flint and drive out of Flint. It's a joke. People work in Flint, get right back on the expressway. They come into Powers, get right back on the expressway. Come into Lear, down there on Hamilton Street, they build that other distribution center. They come in, they drive right back out. The expressway is right there. So Flint is going to be a ghost town. It's going to be just a town where you work and you live in the suburbs. Now you think about this. There's another game that's being played because they don't build no art institute, fabulous libraries, a new YMCA. They don't build those in the suburbs. So that means they got a plan for this inner city of Flint. Meaning the inner city of Flint, around the college and all that area, gonna be predominantly white. They taking all that back. And you can see what they building down there on 3rd Street, that new apartment complex. They're not playing, man. Yeah. That's the plan. See, they got a slice of downtown that they done marked off. That's gonna be white protected. And if you're an honorary white black person, you will be allowed. But anybody else ain't gonna think to come down there because of fear. You're afraid of white people so bad, and the state police gonna have you so afraid that you will not dare to come downtown. And everybody else is gonna live out on the east side, south side, the north side, and again are gonna be like rats unless we choose to love one another. We are gonna implode on each other and eat each other up and destroy each other. That's what's gonna happen. In the next 10, 20 years, we're going to eat each other and destroy each other.
So if y'all want to see that, y'all keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Which is nothing.
Which is nothing.
Stop all that simping and crying out here. Stop trying to wanna be down. Stop sitting up here being messy. Stop getting on here on Facebook and Instagram talking crazy.
Crazy.
Ain't doing nothing about nothing. Right? Stop asking for other people to do the work. What you gonna do for yourself? What you gonna do for the lineage that's coming up after you? What you gonna do for this community for the next 50, 100 years? What legacy is you leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Beyond just a few Facebook posts, right? And say that you did something, right?
Mm.
Get on live and just talk about everybody, but had no solution,
No.
right?
Nothing.
We ain't got time for that, man. Ain't nobody buying that, right? People gonna look at that stuff. People from the outside looking in, look at us and say that them fools is crazy.
Crazy.
Y'all ain't got nothing from the water crisis.
Nothing.
Y'all can't even stand up and defend yourselves.
At all.
You don't even, it's majority black city.
No school.
You don't run nothing.
No school.
No school educational system for your children.
No housing.
You send them all out in the outer counties.
No housing.
No housing. Even
No
with these
health
houses,
care.
you got the Airbnbs that just bought up 130 properties. Here in
130
Fli-City.
properties.
Now they sending you letters and telling
It's
you,
mine.
hey, listen, you're gonna either pay this or
Or
you gotta go. Right? Folks just stand up on you. When you gonna stand up for yourself? When you gonna make it an issue? When you gonna be ready to die for this? When you gonna really step up? Like, that's what folks waiting for, man. Like, ain't nothing gonna happen. Just like he brought us some phenomenal names of the past. They didn't ask for this stuff.
No.
This country wasn't. They didn't ask to take this country. They took it.
Took it.
And then put a system together so scandalous that made you a part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to be down? Yeah, you're going to play by these rules.
Mm-hmm.
When you going to start changing the game and make rules up for ourselves? When we going to be about that? When we go, and it just start with ourselves, right? When we going to stop trying to be about everybody else's business, but build up our own?
Mm-hmm.
And start making sure our children is tight. They know about the history.
Right. They heal.
Not about this Instagram, not about this TikTok, not about the latest dance, not about
Latest fad.
the latest fashion, latest fad, not about these rappers on TV.
None of that.
Not trying to set them up to be the next basketball LeBron or
none of that.
football. Hey, man, when are we going to be real about ourselves, man? We got a long way to go.
Because if you want to make a real note, those people that are performing on Sundays, I like they did back when they used to have them jigaboos and all that back during enslavement. It is the same concept that's going on every Saturday and Sunday from college to professional. You are jigabooing for the white power structure, and they give you peanuts while they billionaires. The NCAA is $1 trillion business. You hear me? College football is $1 trillion business.
They just start getting NIL.
And just start getting in it.
They ain't already made the money.
And they mad at that.
They mad at that.
And then you got these LeBron James and all these other people that's shucking and jiving. And again, there's something that has to be a full court. Because yes, LeBron James does do some incredible things. Yes, sir. I have much respect for that brother.
That do too.
But I have no respect for Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, the way they treating Colin Kaepernick. Unacceptable, man. They are part of the problem. Michael Irvin and all them are part of the problem. All of them need one in the head.
Like yesterday.
Like yesterday. One in the head.
So and that you have we gotta be. Ed said, could you elaborate on the Jigaboo statement?
Oh, well, jigaboo is the concept of I don't use the N-word, but the jigaboos was the concept that European white devils used was to dance around on Sundays. You know, they made us work 6 days a week, right? Mm-hmm. So the jigaboo was the one that was doing the jig. You might hear Jay-Z talk about jigger. So that's a reference to, you know, the rivers dancing for their masters, right? So that's what I mean by jigaboo. That's part of the entertainment of your master telling you to dance. Mm-hmm. And so whatever your master tells you to do, you say, yes, sir, boss. And then he pat you on the head, or he give you a piece of corn, or give you a piece of pig butt, and you go in the middle of the fire and yes, sir, you know, yes, sir, thank you, master. I know y'all like the pig butt, you know.
Yeah, I don't.
But that's not natural for us. I want to make this clear.
That's why
The pig is not natural for us. That's not from our culture. We were forced to destroy our bodies eating pig. That's not from Africa, y'all. So let me make that point.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can be clear about that. I know y'all love the fried blood. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about purging or letting go, you guys gotta let go of some stuff, guys. If you wanna become a new man or woman, you're gonna have to eat differently.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have to walk differently.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to speak to a stranger, a black person that look like you. And I know sometimes my black people, because I had an incident today at T-Mobile. The young lady was just terrible. Sister I was trying to get some help from was just terrible. Young lady. It was just unacceptable. But I kept a smile on my face.
You killed it with gun.
I did, had to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's the jigaboo, guys. You know, it's part of the connotation of what we have been culturally conditioned to believe in ourselves, dictated by white people. You think about it. None of us in this country, unless you took the power to change your own name, have our own names. All our names come from slave masters. You Johnsons, you Washingtons, I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
All your name derived, they talking about erasing history. How you gonna erase black people's history when all our names start with slave masters? Mm-hmm. Think about that, man. You Johnsons, you James, mm-hmm. you Thompsons, all from
that represent time, son.
Slave plantations. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about the impact, and a lot of that people that, that slavery was back then, it's still today. If you have no knowledge of yourself, it's like a tree without roots. A tree without roots die. If you are a tree and have no roots, you are going to die. And that's what's going on with black people in America. We are dying daily. And we are so ashamed of ourselves that we are so mentally destroyed that we are killing ourselves many times with a weapon, but most times it's with liquor, alcohol, and self-hatred. We're doing that internally because we hate ourselves so much. We're so miserable that we are literally killing ourselves. Our women put stuff in their butts and who put eyelashes? Okay. Help me, Lord.
Who put eyelashes on the guy? When they had the bug with the eyelashes.
But I was going with our women wearing eyelashes on their eyes. But anyway.
Yeah, I know. Now listen, what he's saying in so many words, man. Wake up.
Wake up.
Stop being lost. Stop confining yourself to the restrictions that this world has given you. Be your own people.
Spend billions of dollars on fake hair and don't own none of it. That right there, if you're talking about how we change our community, let's own our own hair products. If we're gonna put the fake hair on our bodies, let's at least have a relationship with those Koreans or wherever it come from, where we corner the market, where we are producing or have a relationship with overseas market, right? Mm-hmm. Don't let the Ching Chongs and them have all the industry, and they hate us. Yeah. I heard some stories about sisters going to them Ching Chong, and they go back and say, "You let Mama Son treat you like that? Mm-hmm. How you gonna let Mama Son treat you and disrespect you about your nails, fake nails, and fake hair, mm-hmm. and you gonna go back to it?
Go right back in.
You need to be shot in the head. Talking about you look good, and you want to put down your baby hair. I got some baby hair for you.
I'm ready to cut off mine and go sell it there.
I'm telling you, shit, girl. It's a market.
It's a market. It's a market. I'm selling one dread at a time.
One dread at a time.
10,000.
Do you know think about this, guys. Black Americans, look at this. In 1865, we had a collective wealth of 0.1%. Mm. In 2023, Black people have a collective wealth, meaning collective GDP, 0.1%. What is that? At one time,
let's leave him on. Give him a walk now.
At one time, think about this, guys. At one time, black people did everything. They were the masons, bricklayers, carpenters, plumbers, everything that you can imagine. We had skills. And then after 1865, the white people started what you call those areas where black people couldn't become a part of the millwright union, carpenter union. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We were not allowed to practice our expertise because after 1865, the white man said, "Oh, now y'all free, but we're gonna take on all these industries and we're gonna provide for our own people." See, when you think about black wealth, and again, what black people have built this country, and die for this country, literally. But look how they played us. And we let them play us. Because then when they developed all these different trade unions, we weren't able to get in these unions. So now we had to do other things, guys. That's how a lot of these communities came up, because we had to build our own communities up. The history of this country, they talk about, they have blew up black and brown communities in America, y'all. Colfax Massacre, Rosewood. Come on now. Yeah. Even when you think about Arkansas, North Carolina, Florida, Kentucky, Virginia, net turn to us. Because if you do not know your history, guys, that's why you're so easy led astray. Like Malcolm said, you hoodwinked, you bamboozled, you led astray. You are a fool. And one thing that the Panthers was laying down, the Panthers has a real good understanding. Many of y'all need to read the 10-point plan of the Panthers. If we take hold of that, that could really, really do something to our community, guys. If we start developing the 10-point plan of the Panthers, that could help change our community.
We're gonna bring it back. We back every Thursday. Just
yeah.
We're gonna be lighting folks up, lighting fires up on the people. We're gonna be calling some people out, man. We gotta just get to it. So one way or another, we're gonna get hit. And I think one way or another, we all gonna die. So you'd rather die for something.
Die for something, man. Real talk.
Man, I appreciate everybody for tapping in.
Always a blessing, Wakanda, again, you know where I'm at. Again, if any of you guys want to really be interested in what I said earlier about prostate cancer, have a conversation. It's very important, vital in our community. And please consider that block by block. I think that's something that's viable and we can do.
All right, we tuning out block by block. Yeah, I thought that was that block by block. We got
man. Yeah, that's something that can be really generated.
Real talk.
Because it's something easy. That's something that could be done.
That Charlie Palmer right there.
What?
Talk to the laptop. It's right there on the floor. It's right there on the floor. I lose this. That's right there.
Kind of load it up there a little bit. Might blow, it might explode.